is that Webb sees further out in space and therefore further back in time, because light has a finite speed. The further out you look, the further back in time you see. So these objects that the telescope is observing at very high redshift, these galaxies that it's looking at extremely large distances, are galaxies as they were very, very long ago, at very early times in the universe. And the surprise is that it seems to be seeing very well-formed, mature spiral galaxies, things like the Milky Way or the Andromeda galaxy, forming at extremely early times in the universe, earlier than you would expect in a standard model of cold dark matter cosmology, right? So that is a problem for the standard structure formation in what's called the lambda-cdm cosmology, a cosmological constant making up about 75% of the energy density of the universe, and dark matter being the other 25%. Because you would, in those kind of models, you expect structure to clump into small pieces first, and those small pieces merge together to form larger things. So the existence of these already well-formed large objects at very high redshift and therefore very early times is something that's difficult to explain. I don't know per se. I think the jury is still out on that as far as whether or not this is a fatal observation for LCDM cosmology. It certainly puts some pressure on it. There's a little bit of tension there, and I think that in a few years, within a year or two, probably with more observations, if we really start to see a large population of these galaxies, there's going to be something we have to give. Probably it's a challenge for LCDM cosmology, to be sure. And if these observations hold up, and if they continue to see galaxies forming a lot earlier than they expected, then it tells you that there's something that's not quite right with our current models, and they'll have to be modified in some way. But I'm not sure whether or not MOND or some other less radical modification to the theory is going to be necessary. It's hard to tell at this point.